I want to say thank you for supporting me in my ability to be a human. I love you. And I want to let you know that the tour, the still unnamed, I'll name it soon. By next week, I think I'll have a name for it. But it's coming to St. Louis, Cincinnati, good places, Charlotte, Durham, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Wilmington. You want to get out there in Wilmington where people are, a lot of milkmaids out there. Wilkes-Barre, Minneapolis, Charleston, Richmond, Baltimore over there, the Black Main they call it. Portland, Burlington, Albany, Buffalo, Columbus, Ohio. As well, the Netflix taping, those shows are sold out in Nashville. Thank you so much for the support. And I will be running that material in Huntsville a few days prior. That is the first week of August. You can get tickets for any date at theovon.com/tour. Don't buy through any other link. It's a scam. These jacked up prices. I try to keep tickets at fair prices for you. Today's guest is a friend of mine, a decent man, and a man who has walked the road of, who's walked a very common road when it comes to humor, and that's a road of struggle. He's become a better friend of mine over the past year, and we have a lot in common, and we're going to get into some of that and just talk turkey. About to embark on his Fresh Cuts comedy tour, it is Mr. John Crist. Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song. I will sing it just for you.
That's just the Lord's liquid right there, bro. It ain't nothing to it.
Liquid death, man. I don't know if I'd want to go with a dry death or a liquid death.
To die?
Now, what do you do now? You got a real religious kind of history, you know?
Yeah,
Tell me about that. Like, how do you kind of, because sometimes I feel like you get not penciled in with religion.
Yeah.
But you almost, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John Crist, Like, it's not shocking to hear that.
They'd be like, or if I did that joke in my show, you'd be like, oh, this is like his, this is part of the thing.
You're right.
But if you live in America, let's say an average person's, because I grew up in church, my dad's a pastor. I was homeschooled.
Really?
Yeah, homeschooled. They're one of 8 kids.
Wow. So did your dad teach any of the courses, or in homeschooling is the mother?
The mom teaches.
The mom teaches.
See, there's 2 types of homeschool. There's like homeschool, like if you're Serena Williams and you want to be professional football, or you want to be a professional tennis player, you're like, I'll just homeschool so I can. And then there's like the cultural homeschoolers. Those are like long jean skirts, Christian, traditionally. That's a different type of homeschool.
Like pail of water.
Yeah, that's a. It's like, where are they going? They got a faucet, but they got one.
Right, yeah.
Books around a belt, put up. That type of stuff.
Yeah, very Willie and Nellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie.
Like, is that how it goes? You're like, nah, not really, but sure. Yeah.
So with homeschooling, man, so your mother homeschooled you.
Yeah.
Did your dad, does the dads come up with the curriculum? Where did they get the curriculum?
It's, you like have there's like a group, they have like their homeschool like textbooks. It's like, but you buy all the textbooks, but then you use them 8 times because my brother did it, and then I do it 2 years later, and then the little brother. But all the, like a math problem would be like, I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. Like, okay. In Matthew 4, he had 5 loaves and 2 fish. Subtract 3 loaves. How many they're all like they're about the Bible, right? Like it's not like a train was traveling 60 miles an hour. It's like a caravan of donkeys going to see the North Star.
Oh, it's like, okay. So
it suddenly like gets it in there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, hey, we'll slide the Bible in.
So they'll sneak some facts in, huh?
That's true, dude.
Dang.
We'll get it. Yeah, we'll teach them, dude, one way or another.
Did you guys, like at Halloween, because I dated a girl for a little bit.
No Halloween in my house, dude.
From Nashville, right?
Okay,
and
yeah.
she, at Halloween, they were only allowed to dress up as characters from the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
When she was growing up.
Well, so, do you know what she dressed as?
I don't know who she dressed as. I think it was one of the women in it. There's a lot of. Here's the thing about the Bible.
There's not a
kind
lot
of dude heavy.
Yeah, they're all written by dudes. Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
yeah. And they educated guys, which is a little tricky.
Brenda should have got a book.
Yeah, she should at least a book. Hey, this is how I say it. You know, I used to have a joke in my show about there was a story in the Bible about Jesus and the prostitute. That's the heading of the story. And you know, the prostitute, she gets her sins forgiven and she gets saved and all this kind of stuff. She's in heaven now. This is my bit, but like, she's like, "Yo, what's up? My name's like Cheryl." Or like, "Who?" I'm like, "The prostitute." "Oh, what's up, dude? You're the..." Like, she get a name.
Oh, wow.
She gets no name.
So in the Bible, they didn't even give her a name.
No, but but that's not gender specific. There's like Jesus and the man with leprosy. He's like, "Dude, I had a nice job. I had a family. I
had more than leprosy."
Yeah, he says.
But for the book, it's like, we just need you to be leprosy. We need you to be leprosy 1.
There's no.
We need prostitute 1. We need leprosy 1.
What's it called when you do a TV show and then somebody's in the background doing something like, "Hey, can you?"
Oh yeah,
a release. There was no release in the Bible times about leprosy, guys. Like, hey, we're just gonna take your story, bro.
And leprosy was pretty popular, I think, for a while. You know, and
no, but if you had it, it was
bad.
No, you're out. You can't.
Oh, you can't party with leprosy.
No. But I don't even know if that's how it was transmitted. But that they're just like, you're cast out if you got the. I don't know, what is it. What do you think it is? A scab or something?
Party. I think it was like a little something, and then your whole body. It got like your leg would fall off.
I don't think
you would shed a limb. Yeah, you want to look that up, please, Sean?
Leprosy.
Bring up a limb shedding.
No, what is it? But that when you talk about something bad in the Bible, like, dude, he probably had leprosy.
Infectious disease called by bacillus. So I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Is he
transmitted via droplets? That sounds familiar. Yeah. From the nose and the mouth, dude. No masks back then, bro.
Wow. The bacillus is likely transmitted via droplets. Yep. It's curable with therapy. There were
202,000. Is that
new registered cases of leprosy in 2019.
Yeah, what if you called a girl, "Hey, I can't come over tonight"? Why not?
I got leprosy.
That would, it'd be like, I mean, it says right there, 202,000 cases.
It's plausible.
But it's not, I guess it doesn't, it's not a death sentence now.
It's plausible.
But if you were like you walking into something and you rolled an ankle back in the Bible, you're like, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
If you rolled an ankle, yeah, like
you walk in with a limp, the rest of your, that's it.
Well, we forget, you know, I will romanticize things a lot of times and think, man, it'd be so nice to be on a carriage with my wife or with some, you know.
Yeah.
And
like old times.
I'll do that a lot.
Yeah.
And then you start to think like what old times were really like. And it was probably pretty savage.
Tough. Well, you don't even have to go back that far to like, if you think about like, dude, when you were a kid, remember going to pick someone up at the airport? You just like, I hope they're here.
Oh, yeah.
And you would go around, circle back around. You're like, maybe they're here this time.
Right.
And then you would just, there was no check-in, there's no flight tracker, there's no cell phones. You just went.
You would keep going. Yeah, maybe you stay for 30 minutes and then.
And if you were there with he'd send you in, hey, run in there and see on the screen if it's here. But you don't even know if he got on it.
Right.
Because you can't call.
But it was also so much fun, I feel like, to just go do anything then. It was like everything was kind of like an adventure. It was like, all right, we're going to pick up our friend from the airport.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Hey, we're going to go up there to meet some so-and-so in the movie theater. Maybe, but maybe not. He might not be there.
Yeah, if your date didn't show, like you really got stood up. Like there was no way to like know why or... They could lie. It was easy. Next time they saw you, they could lie.
But remember when I told you a couple of days ago about when I didn't get a text back from you, and then it went to green, and I was like, that's red alert in 2021.
Right.
But back then, he'd be like, he'll turn back up. And so like he missed a couple weeks of school. What happened to him? Yeah. And then you just show back up. What's up, dude?
He's around.
Yeah. I don't know. He's cutting the grass.
Yeah, where'd he been? Yeah.
You don't know. No. Now it's like
it was such a mystery then. There were so many things were mysteries. Better.
But now it's like like, you know, girls be like, hey, I noticed you don't watch my Instagram stories anymore. You're like, oh my, okay. We know too much.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that? Like,
Oh, now it's definitely too
or like,
much.
oh, I saw you like on your Instagram about, I don't need to probably know that.
Yeah, and you can't hide anymore. You can't. Like, I used to love to be able to make things up back in the day. You could make up who your family was. You could make up anything.
You can't anymore.
You could say you were a prince. You could make up anything. You're like,
just-
you're a prince, dude. You know,
You
Why are
couldn't
wearing
check.
that
You couldn't
big,
fact check
extremely
anything.
Small Big Bird sweatshirt.
Seems
Okay,
a little
I
questionable.
don't feel like a prince would wear that.
Why you moved here to Louisiana? Yeah, but it's kind of like we had a transfer situation. But they were like, all right.
Yeah, it was an exchange program at the castle. It was
That's
just-
like, dude, in rehab, you can't. No one knows. You don't have any phones or nothing, so no one knows that you can make up stuff there.
right.
Because this guy said he's from India, and he's like, he had like, this is true. Actually, he had like 37 like, not servants at his house, but 37 people worked at his house.
No way.
And you're like, that's a different. But you don't know anybody's name. You don't
Right.
know their whole name.
Oh, if I was any
He
Indian
might be
person,
like Chuck.
right?
You're like, I don't know. He might. I don't know.
Like,
Maybe.
damn, Chuck has 37 people working for him.
Yo, chill. dude.
Oh, damn. Chuck's heart is up. Here's a question right here from somebody that came in.
Theo Vaughn's my favorite comedian in the whole world.
Smart choice, brother.
Let's
And John
go.
Crist is my wife's favorite comedian in the whole world.
Damn. I would have liked the
I
wife.
feel like the universe is about to implode. How'd you guys connect? Was it the Nashville thing? Did you guys know about each other coming up? And John, what's it like for you to be on Theo's podcast? Like, is this it for you? You gonna blow now? Is this like the big, this is it?
Not
The
gonna
big
blow
break?
me, dude. You know what I'm saying? No. I mean, I'm not trying to knock you or anything, but
Okay, first of all, we got to hang with that guy. That everything about that.
I don't know. The guy's shirtless.
He's shirtless. He was like, before I get to my question, I need to be involved. And
Right.
we had a lot of backstory.
Sometimes I get nervous and take my shirt off when I do stuff.
I don't
You
like
know?
to be shirtless.
You don't?
I just got to make sure my body's positioned right when you're shirtless. You know,
Oh,
when
really?
When you're sitting up like this, you know what I'm saying? You don't look good.
Oh, that's
You know,
true.
it's like your body looks a little.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
kind of like I've been drinking stepdad.
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah. I wonder who came. Someone that came up with shirts. They're like, hey, we gotta.
I wonder why. It all goes back to I think how like even romanticizing what things used to be like. Like it was probably so hot. People were so
Yeah.
stinky.
Yo,
That's the thing you don't realize. Someone was
smells horrible, dude.
People were stinky. People were dying. Like, hey, do you want to marry? You know,
You got to go down to the river. It might be 3.5 miles away.
you want to marry Sarah?
Yep.
There wasn't any options for marriage. It was like, do you want to marry Margaret? Because that's who you.
There was no like. That's why they say like, hey, there's only very, very like a religious Christian. There was like you have a soulmate, one person on this planet for you. That God has a plan for you to find this woman. One person on planet Earth, there's 7 billion people.
Right.
And it happened to be the girl that lives 2 doors down.
I know.
What are the odds of that? Out of that? That's
Every time.
Hey, wow. No, this girl actually worked in my office. She worked in your office? And you lucked out?
Dang.
7 billion people on Earth. And the girl that was God's plan for you worked in your office.
Y'all are lucky.
Wow. That's
Dang, God had the easiest plan for
Dang,
you.
dude,
God
that's
had
a-
the easiest plan.
Yo, that's a hookup, dude. You found her. You didn't even have to
Yeah.
go.
Man, you barely.
Had to leave the state. You
Yeah.
didn't have to leave the neighborhood. She was right there. Dude. You can't really say that's like not very romantic to say that there's a bunch of women that would be good for you
Well, I
to
think
marry, but that's would be true, right?
Right. Well, I don't know.
Like
I
how
mean,
many do you think would be a good marriage partner for you? Let's say,
I think I'm the
10,000.
loose nugget.
okay,
I'm the loose nugget. So
you might cut down on. You might do 5,000
in America or in the world?
in the world.
Oh, wow. It's a good amount.
5,000. But then if you say, babe, you're the only one for me, she's like, I mean,
That's a hefty promise. But it used to be a reliable, it used to be a fair promise to make, I think, to someone that you're the one for me. Now, part of the problem is just there's so many
ones.
Well, there's also so many there's so much capability to get access. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, they say you're only as capable as your options or whatever. Like
you don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you get some money. Your sphere kind of. You get outside of the neighborhood a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you got a driver's license. Now you can.
Right.
You can go to the next town.
You could get across town. You could touch Chitty across town, man.
But back in the
I remember back in the day, you really.
That's it. You had your. Did you ever like intermix with the other high schools? Like, or did you kind of hang in your high school?
No, I would hang at the other high schools because I ended up switching from one school to another, like
in the
rival
same town?
schools in 2 different towns.
Okay,
and they were totally different. One was like a real country town that I grew up in, and one was a little bit more like suburban, kind of rich,
you were
wealthy
cool
whites.
With both of them.
Yeah, well, when I got to the fancier one, that's the first time a girl ever liked me, and so it was. I had like a new beginning.
What age? What grade?
7, 8, 9, 10 grade.
Yeah.
I remember walking across the gym and some girl was looking at me and I thought something had happened to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
you might have glowed up. You might have had a summer. You might have had a glow up summer.
I might have, man.
You got your braces off or something like that?
No, I needed braces. So it must have been like this kind of make-a-wishy type broad.
Yeah.
But her name was Jenny. I remember she was hot, man.
That was the first time you ever remember a girl looking at you like in a way.
Dude, and I can still feel her looking at me. That's how nice it was to be admired by a woman.
You might have been. We're still chasing that. It might be.
I think I'm still chasing that admiration. Did we answer that other guy's question? What was the question? We met. I've known about you over the years, but I've seen you more. Since
I know where I met you. We've talked about this before at the Punchline in Atlanta, and I did a guest spot for you.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and you were wearing sweatpants. You were wearing elastic sweatpants. I go, this man is unhinged, bro.
Oh, wow.
But you came in, you were like, what up?
Oh, that's good.
Dude, what's crazy about now with me and you and then is like, we ate, like, no one knew who we were.
Right.
No one was like we were trying to hang with fans. Like we were trying, they were like, nah, we good. Remember those days?
Oh,
like we would be like, what are y'all doing?
Right.
And no one would be like, we're good.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that long ago.
They're like, I got a family, man. I got a future.
They were like, hey, y'all want to like drink or something? They were like, no, dude. We like your hamster bone story, but we got to go.
Dude. We wanted to see if you had a couple free hamps out here.
Yeah, we're good, dude.
Dude, they had good pie at that place at Atlanta Punchline.
Great pie. The new Punchline.
Yeah, the new Punchline.
But what's funny about that guy's comment is, which is always happens, like, you're my favorite comedian and I'm his wife's favorite comedian.
Ooh.
It's like that. That's very common for me.
You and I were at that bar one night, remember?
Yeah.
And some guy said, didn't some guy say hey to me? And he said, my wife loves you.
Yeah, which I don't, is that good or bad? I don't know.
I would trade you. I'm joking.
With that guy specifically?
I mean, maybe with that guy specifically.
Not knowing his wife, not even knowing, be like sight unseen.
That's a good call.
I'll take it. Well, you know, Ralphie May said, R.I.P. He said, women are the ones that you know, if you have like a little like a sexist or like misogynistic joke, people are like,
yeah,
like, first of all, women make the decision to come see you. Guys will come, but no, like, you know, those real like old school type comics that were very like that's not a thing. And like, women are driving the sales.
Really?
And if you're cool to women, that's like, you know, like only exclusively dude comics. You know any of those guys?
I don't know, man.
Their crowd
a lot of my audience is male.
Yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what do you think from like the fighting stuff?
No, I think just from podcasting, just talking about stuff, being alive. A lot of my audience is just men that are trying to be alive.
Trying to live.
I think, yeah.
Do you know, have you ever looked at your Instagram, like the breakdown?
Yeah, I'm like 80% men.
I'm the exact
women.
opposite.
Really?
That is wild.
No.
Exact opposite. Which I got a little bit, I feel some kind of way about that, but do you feel some kind of way about yours?
No, I just feel grateful that I have some sort of connection with an audience.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the most that's kind of what feels like that. I mean, yes, I think every comedian wishes there was like a bunch of big juggy bro.
Yeah. You look at your demographics and they have photos of this is it. That's
some
weird.
breasty Muppets in the front, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think.
But,
maybe.
But the big dude, I remember the biggest breast I ever saw as a kid was on this buddy.
On a guy, dude.
And I remember even touching myself to him once when I was young, because it was the only ones we had at that age.
But what, you saw him?
Oh, dude, he slept with them out.
What do you mean out?
He slept with him, shirtless or whatever. I think it was real hot. He was at that weight where it gets real hot.
Yeah. It gets hot easily.
Oh yeah, he's at that hot weight, dude. You'd see his you'd see the, and yeah, dude, his dad had done the ceiling fan in his room, and this thing was illegally powered.
Yes, I was on high.
It was.
And you don't turn it off. It doesn't turn off.
Yeah. There's no off.
You've seen those ones that are like, is that going to fall off? It's like, it's going.
This one smelled I think it ran on kerosene or something. It was really, it was authentic, man. But I remember the wind would almost put a tint on his skin.
Okay, yeah.
And he would rest. And I remember one time was being of age at his house to be erect and just.
And he was
asleep, thank God.
So you were sleeping in the same room with this man?
Yeah.
Or he was yeah.
And don't call him a man. We were both boys.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to be some boy masturbating to a man.
Well, Well, when you were like,
I shouldn't even be talking about this.
Well, when you were like young, you were like I wanted to be like me and my buddies would like streak through the neighborhood.
Yes.
And it was cool to be like with your clothes off.
Yeah, it wasn't pervy, really.
Yeah, no. It was very like, and that's the tricky, like when we, like in rehab, you kind of do your, like your sexual history. Mm-hmm. They talk about that kind of stuff. Like what's the first time you had like a sexual anything?
Oh, really?
And I remember when I had to be 7 or 8, this older girl came to babysit us.
Oh.
And we were playing freeze tag and I tagged her on the boob. But I didn't know, I didn't know much. I didn't know why I wanted to do that, but I just did.
Did you? So after you did it, did it feel like something?
Yeah, it felt unbelievable. Yeah. And I don't know. And
that's God, bro.
But I don't. It might be. That's the way everyone's here. Everyone is here because of that.
Right. Everybody's
framework.
here because of sex. Right. So it's interesting
that
sex becomes this taboo thing.
That's what. Yeah. Like Louis C.K. had a bit when he came through Zany's like 2-3 weeks ago.
Did you go watch him?
Yeah.
Wow. I should have went.
He said
I was out of town.
No, we take things too far and people do stuff that's across the line. But he said everyone wants to live in a world where Sarah at your high school went, what's up with Theo?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to go be touching people inappropriately or going across, but you want to live in a world where someone goes, I wonder what she's up to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what's her name? Steph Curry?
Yeah.
So his wife.
It's a man.
Yeah, grown man. His wife, before kids, when he was coming into the league, she said she would always walk through, the hallways and people would holler at her and be like, what's up? And then she said she had 2 kids, kind of like got a little bit older. She said, I miss people like kind of
catcalling.
Yeah, no, again, not inappropriate,
right.
But you like, let's not act like that world doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah,
and then it's flattering.
Huh, what's up? Like, I wonder what, I want to talk to her.
Right.
That, whatever that is.
A sense of attraction.
Yeah.
We all want to be wanted in some way. And then I don't think it's weird to be, to be wanted sexually, kind of. At all, really. And it also is the most natural thing. Like I get a feeling sometimes in my body that every part of me wants to climb out of my penis.
You got to go inward first, and then,
right. I literally have a feeling sometimes, like I just get this, this tense energy that everything I have or am wants to, like if my whole body could fly out of my penis and just disappear, then and I'm done.
We had a good run. Yeah,
and I feel like I'd be okay with that.
What happened to Theo? You know what? It's a long story.
But he won.
He's on top.
Yeah.
He's with the Lord now.
He went out how he wanted to go out. Because it's also interesting, if that's the way that you went out, it'd be like an inverse of the way that you came in a weird way.
Yeah. That's because everybody came into this world the same way.
Yeah.
And that's the real Lion King. That's the circle of life right there, man.
Yeah. It should be some guy masturbating off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? But somebody else catching it and taking care of it.
Yeah. Well, if you were like that, because they would talk about how, like, is this like when you were like, when you were with your buddies and you were like, let's like sleep naked or something like that.
Yeah.
They were like, was that inappropriate? And they were like, no, that was just a boy
That's curious.
trying. Yeah, and they were like, they want to make a distinction between, because if this is a little bit graphic, not really, but like if it's two boys being curious versus a boy and an uncle, because he knows,
right,
and then that's a problem. That's trauma,
right? When you have the knowledge, when one of them has
when
knowledge.
one of them knows and is trying to do a thing, versus if it's like, because, and then kids get in trouble for stuff that is just curious,
right?
Don't put that in the same category, because then that shame comes in. Like, oh, I thought you're supposed to be a Christian and you're streaking. Like, that's just. Right. That's kind of what or like you're going to go jump in the girls' pool and you're going to, that's kind of just, but that's a tough line, because then sometimes it can switch into, oh, I don't think that wasn't appropriate. Right. It can switch. Yeah.
It's I mean, some of that stuff's tricky, dude. I remember babysitting some family members one time, or semi-family, and the kid's over there in the bed, naked with his little buddy.
Yeah. Two boys.
Yeah. And so I didn't say nothing to him or make him feel weird or anything, you know. I also didn't go in and tickle him at that moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to know when to tickle people and when to just let them be,
That's what they say, how do you know? Naked. I think you just gotta, that's something
you know.
But
I think people's that governor inside of your head for what's okay sexually can certainly get altered.
Yep.
And get weird and get like when I think of those Duggar kids, like speaking of religious families, like they have those Duggar children, they're famous.
They're like 10 kids.
From 20 children. How many children was it? Pull up Duggar.
Children, I was going to try.
You were going to try out for the family?
I was going to try. One of my buddies was like friends with them, and I was like going to try to like date one of them. But they're like, that seems like a good wholesome thing, but it got twisted up, right? There's lots of stuff.
But how, I think, could you not at this point? You have children, the age is 19, so different.
19 kids and counting.
So you have kids, I mean, you can't even reach a light switch without touching another kid's breast. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even.
There's not 19 showers in that house. Right. I know that. There's not 19. Everyone can't get a hot shower.
Right.
That's just the facts.
There's gonna be a lot of like passing through in the restroom.
Yeah. There's a lot of can we squeeze by?
Right.
There's a lot of that.
Or can I shower with you? There's gonna be a lot of that.
Yeah.
Which is first of all really normal for kids, but then it can get weird when one of the kids is
now he's
16 and one of the kids is 5. It can get a little bit weird.
So if you say like, because then wasn't there a lot of like incest and stuff going on there?
I think there was just a lot of like the one guy's had a lot of trouble with sex addiction, Josh Duggar.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it comes from. I haven't read enough into it. But
wouldn't you like, if sight unseen, if something told you that story, you'd be like, yeah, that checks out.
It makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
makes sense. It could
all
happen.
Right. Yeah. It could happen. Yeah.
When you went to rehab, when you say rehab, what did you go in for?
I mean, let's see,
because I'm in half of them.
Yeah, so they put me for 5 things, because they diagnose you. So I just went in there because I was just like, I was drinking a ton.
Were
and
you really?
I was real sad. I was real sad on the road, and I just wanted to get out. I just wanted to. We've talked about this before. The scary thing is like everybody, we go to dinner tonight. Everybody at the restaurant is hoping for a better tomorrow.
Right.
Maybe if I get a job, maybe if I get a wife, maybe if I get a raise, maybe if I win the lottery, tomorrow is going to be better. Maybe if my president gets elected. And I was hoping in all these things, and then I got them all. Oh, I had money. I had attention from women. I had all my shows were sold. It's unbelievable. And that's the saddest, because you realize, oh, the hope is not here. You were hoping in all the better, everybody at the restaurant has a better faith, because you're like, well, one day I might get it. And you can live your whole life hoping.
Right.
And then if you get it and you're still sad.
That's very,
that's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
I can relate to that, man.
Yeah.
Here's something new. You know how the price of gold has been all over the place lately. It's high, it's low, it's low, it's high. Oh, where is it? Oh, I want gold. Well, there's a new way to buy gold through a company called Acre. Acre lets you subscribe to gold bars for as little as $30 a month. You pay each month, and once your gold stash reaches the price of their gold bars, they discreetly ship you Acre Gold to your house. Just recently, Acre has introduced the new $100 a month subscription to a 5-gram gold bar. Cop them grams. With Acre, taking physical delivery of your gold means it's safe and sound and in your hands. That's right. Acre Gold is also a fantastic hedge against inflation, which we're already seeing with gas, lumber, and food prices. Scary times. But the big takeaway here is that you don't have to come out of pocket all at once. Visit getacregold.com/Theo. Start investing in physical gold today. Make sure you go to this URL because Acre is giving away a gold bar. Thanks, Willy Wonka. To qualify for the giveaway, tweet or post why you should be the recipient and mention @Acre_gold. Again, that's getacregold.com/Theo. Thank you, Acre Gold, for supporting the show. Sometime you look at your head and you say, damn, what happened? What happened to my damn head? Or you see a buddy's head, you say, damn, my buddy's head not doing well. He's a bad farmer. His crops have left him. Well, Keeps can help. Keeps can help you keep that bouffant hairline. You know I care about it. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they are 35. Don't let it be you, and if it is, stop it in its tracks. Keeps offers a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months. Low-cost treatments start at just $10 a month, and Keeps offers generic versions as well. Yes. Discreet packaging. Take care of what you have. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, do what I did. Go to keeps.com/Theo to get and receive your first month of treatment for free. That's right. That's KEEPS.com/THEO to get your first month free. KEEPS.com/Theo. The stuff is effective. Take care of your hair. Here's a question right here that came in from somebody.
Hey Theo, hey John. I am Jenna from Minneapolis and seeing you both live. Can't hide money.
Okay.
Can't hide money, she said.
Anyway, I have a question for both of you actually. You have both been pretty open and vulnerable about your addiction and sobriety and recovery, and I would just be curious what your greatest gift from that has been and if that has affected your comedy or career in any way. So thanks, gang.
Thanks.
You make them
Gang,
put them
baby.
on video.
Yet they don't have to. They can do video or audio. I believe we've just been using video more recently because times have changed and people like
I like
to
that,
see
yeah.
it.
But
And
I
it's
like when you got
sweet
to
of her to send the question in.
you got to put yourself together for a video. You're gonna go on. I might be on the podcast. I'm gonna
tighten up.
I'm gonna tighten up. I
And
like
she
that.
looks. You put a church window in the back for
yeah,
you.
yeah, it's a great. Not
Sorry. I'm joking, but as you put all those self-help books in the back for me.
There you go. Yeah.
Very good.
What's that up on the top? What's that say? It's very something from Hobby Lobby. It looks
Something
like
very warm-hearted.
But look at her books, dude. They're lined up by color.
Ooh,
That's a little. Look at the bottom books. Can the audience see this?
Bottom books. Yeah, they can see it.
That's
Yeah, she got them baby. And dude, she loves those turquoise titles.
And
huh?
she got purple on the bottom, turquoise, white, and then dark on the top.
I like that. That's the dark arts.
That's the organization. I want to. Yeah. That's a good question.
Well, I think you and I have a connection. I mean, I just invited you the other day to an Al-Anon meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out
No, we couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, that meeting is Al-Anon is interesting.
Yeah. But that's like, it's like, you know what, all those meetings, all the anonymous, whatever they are, it's just like, oh, do you go to like CrossFit or you go to 24-hour fitness? Like you're in there
right,
emotionally
right,
lifting, doing some reps.
Right.
And you got to face. And so you're like, hey, you want to go to Al-Anon meeting? I go, I'll go, yeah, I know.
Right.
The gym, the mental gym.
Right.
Yeah, I go there. Yeah. I'll find something to take from there.
Right.
Yeah. Mine was, for the earlier question, mine was alcohol, depression, workaholism, narcissism, and sex. So all 5 of those.
Wow.
That's what they diagnosed me with. They were like, you need to work on all of these. I was like, wow. Yeah.
And so when you go, like, because the only thing I've done is I went to an 8-day facility recently, and then I've just been in AA, you know?
Yeah.
I would like to go to more kind of longer term and just stuff, because it was really good when I went. What are some things you really got out of it that you didn't know about yourself before?
Well, all right. So if my situation is not similar to the Duggar situation, but grew up very like, this is the way life is, right? And it's very there's a lot of shame how I grew up, right? So all these things, you're like, you know, when I was, let's say, 10, like, when's the first time you ever saw like a Playboy?
Oh, let me think. It was September, and it was
no. How do you know it was September?
Oh, it was September, dude.
Oh, it was. You felt it in the leaves were changing.
Oh, dude, I was changing, brother. I knew that, man. I definitely, I was shedding skins, brother. But yeah, it was September, molting, and I believe it was in the it was in the 90s.
Okay, well, did you have any context of that prior? Did you?
No.
And so you saw it.
I didn't know what could be.
Is this bad? What'd you think?
Oh, as soon as I ejected out of my body, I thought something's wrong with me.
Okay, where did that come from?
I think it came because I didn't know anything. I didn't.
No one had told you about that,
right? Yes. I didn't have any information. So then, when I did that, and it felt good, but then it also it's on my person. Then the semen's on my body. I felt dirty because you have to then clean yourself up. So I think there was an element of feeling dirty.
Mine was. Me and my brother were riding bikes over this dirt track, this old construction site that we had built these jumps and stuff down the street from my house on Lula Way, and we were riding, and I saw a Playboy in the. I remember this like it was yesterday, just like Jenny looking at you, and I saw it. Me and my brother saw it.
Oh,
and I hadn't. We were like a mile and a half from my house. We rode home as fast as we could.
And you picked it up?
No. We didn't touch it. We didn't touch it.
Did he see it too?
Yep. We both we saw it, and we had no context of this. We didn't know. And so we rode home as fast as we could.
Let's go.
Because we were scared of it, or we didn't, we were kids. And I remember throwing our bikes down in the garage. We ran inside. My mom was doing something. We were breathing heavy. And she goes, "What? Where you guys been?" And we said, we hid. We said, nah, nothing. And that's why I go back to, why did we
hide?
Why? Yeah, why? We didn't do anything wrong. But then and then you know what I was, you know the answer to this. I was laying in bed that night. What do you think I was thinking?
About that.
I got to go find that. I got to go sneak. Now I got to sneak back out.
Right.
And tell somebody I'm doing, and go back.
So now you're building up more secret. You're building up whatever sex is to you at this point. It's very secretive.
And it was from that day until 35 years old that it was very.
Right.
Listen. If you just like very, and it was a lot of, and that's a lot of Christian. Growing up Christian is a lot of youth pastors act like, when's the last time you looked at porn, and like a lot of, I had to report to my pastor every time I masturbated.
Wow.
Which is,
oh, that would take me a month.
I know.
It would take me a month of straight talking to the man. Like literally, we would have to have coffee delivered.
Hey, this is yeah.
So you had to go into the confessional. But did that help? Does that help alleviate some of the, or does it just feel like I'm reporting how bad I am, or is there a part of the template of that process? Because I'm not as familiar with that process. Part of the template of it is that there is some relief granted to you.
Well, you all learn pretty quick. They were like, all right, well, I'm just not going to say, because if I say, I'm notched down, right. So I'm just not going to say, because it's a private thing anyway.
Right.
It's not like,
so then you're hiding.
Then then you're hiding, and then so you but you think so. Anyway, fast forward until I was in rehab for 4 months, and I thought, my life is over, because I was very Christian, very shame based, to answer her question. I got out. Everybody was like, dude, we love you, man. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well.
That's kind of, you're not going to, I think I even said that.
Can't wait to see you back on. Whenever you come back to Memphis, we'll be there. And it was, I'm telling you right now, I couldn't grasp that. Because my whole life I lived with, if anyone ever finds out the truth about you, everyone's going to hate you. And then everyone knew the truth about me and they go, we love you, dude. Everybody, we're all on the path, man. Let us know.
And it was more lovable in a weird way.
It was yeah,
it's kind of where our relationship started.
Maybe, yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy's fucked up too, man.
Yeah, what's up?
This
dude?
is my buddy.
Yeah. Well, I think you felt very safe with me because people, dude. I was buying a car. I was buying a new car, and this guy goes, "Hey, man, you John Crist?" And he said, "My girlfriend is a big fan." He's just like, "I just want to let you know, man. I struggle with porn too. I get it." I go, "What?" I know. I appreciate that you feel very like that we're all out here together.
Take the penthouse package out of this Kia.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think I need this.
Right.
But you do feel you
feel connected
somehow. Yeah. That you were like, oh man. And that's what I think a lot of people relate to your podcast because they go, I see myself in that.
Right.
I'm with that.
Well, and I think it makes me relate to you, man, because you just want to try your best. You know, you want to try your best, and you're in a world where it's really hard, and there's a lot of, and this is something we talked to Jordan Peterson about, like the level of capabilities that these companies and these organizations and these
talking about religious or no?
I'm talking about like pornography. Sorry.
Okay.
Or like the advertise the way that they have to grip you. It's so strong.
Yeah.
It's very so strong, man.
And it's my relationship to alcohol. Like I've been sober for 19 months almost, but it had to be physically taken from me for about a month, and then I was like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
So when somebody says to you, hey, I'm going to stop sugar, or I'm going to stop caffeine, or I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to stop, it's kind of disrespectful to the human body. It's so strong, dude. It's so strong.
Oh, yeah.
And you say, I'm going to start, whatever that chemicals is so strong that you can't.
It's hard.
You can like white knuckle it for a couple days maybe, but say I had my alcohol to be physically taken from me, and now I can live without it.
Yeah, now you've been separate from it long enough. You can.
Rehab is, first of all, it's not practical. It's expensive. It's everybody can't do that. So if people come to you or me and say, hey, how do I get help? My hand was kind of forced in a little bit.
Right.
I got exposed. And so I had to make a choice then. But I don't know what you would tell me 2 years ago. You couldn't tell me anything. Hey, there's consequences of that. I didn't care. Dude.
Right.
What do you tell somebody that's in the dark now?
Man, it's a great question.
Man. It is.
Yeah, what do you tell them?
I said to my friends, just be a friend to that person. This is what makes me emotional. Just be a friend to that person that when it all comes down, you're the first person they call. That's it. That's it. There's no giving them a pamphlet about like the dangers of teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're not even teenagers.
Yeah, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Some guy
pamphlets are unbelievable.
Yes.
But yeah, trying to be there for somebody.
Yeah, that's it. Dude, that's it. And to say, and like if you say, hey, I'm going to go to this, I feel like you've helped me a lot of ways. Say in a meeting, a new meeting is uncomfortable. You don't know where it is. You don't know who's in there. And you say, hey, I'm going to check out this meeting. You want to roll.
Yeah.
Does it help? Now again, but I'm trying to walk the path to the light, though.
Right.
But
so
if
any meeting helps.
If you got a buddy that's out of his mind, what do you can't really, right?
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to go with them. You almost want to bring,
but you can't force them.
No, you can't force them.
No. Yeah. So you just say.
I mean, I had a great talk about this with Chris D'Elia the other day. Because he had a lot of I mean, he really, he's really struggled with sex addiction. He talks about it openly, and I don't feel like I'm talking about him outside of shop. And and there were some things he even did that were kind of like, just like broken bro code type stuff, And it's some of it's just, he was saying, look, man, I was so into my addiction. I thought everybody was behaving this way. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's like you get the opportunity to have some sort of affection or admiration from women
that you never
seen before.
Yes. That you, I mean, I remember, if you remember the Jenny looking at you, I remember in this girl's basement after a basketball game she was having a party with her older brother. I looked her in the eye and asked her to go to prom with me, and she said no.
Dang. Oh, that would have.
But I have a couple memories like that,
right?
Of in college or at frat parties and stuff like that.
Where you just felt
where you looked a woman in the eye and said, "Do you want to do?" And they said no. And that's
hard.
So then you become you get a little bit of success, and then the girls be like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" It's like.
Right. It's all the pressure's off of you. A lot of the onus is off of you.
You're like, but you didn't even know that now they're coming to you.
Right.
And you were like, what? This is my, but you, when you're like in it, you don't like all you do in rehab, because all these people were in there for all different things.
Yeah.
All different type of addiction. Something that.
Well, crazily, I had a friend who was in there with you.
Yeah, like, really?
That's just crazy.
Yeah. I forgot about that. He was there with me.
Blows my mind. It's like, dude.
He goes,
how many people were in y'all's group?
He goes, do you know Theo Vaughn?
How many people were in y'all's group?
That. But
how many people were in y'all's group?
15.
So the odds that there's 15 people meeting up in Arizona for sex addiction, goes, two of them are friends with me.
That's how we reconnected. Because I got out of rehab. I go, my. You go, that's my guy.
Today, actually.
That blows my mind. Okay, so all they would do in there is try to get you to see it from the other side. Right. So I like one of my main struggles, and still is narcissism, behaving. I'm not a narcissist. I have narcissistic capabilities or tendencies.
Right.
Which is different.
Right.
So like a narcissist would never go to rehab.
Right.
A narcissist would be like, hey, maybe I need to get some help. A narcissist would never do that.
Right.
He would never admit that he has a problem. Never.
Right.
Anyway, so like, let's say, for example, we're all meeting up to go to dinner at 5:30 in the parking lot. We're all going to meet at 5:30 in the parking lot. I show up at 5:45. I'm like, he's like, well, think about it from the other guy's perspective. This guy was on the golf course, taking a nap, doing whatever. Yeah. He got up, changed, showered quickly to be out there at 5:30. And he's standing there 15 minutes, nobody's there. And then you stroll up.
Just willy-nilly eating a taffy.
Yeah, just out here,
whatever.
Listening, singing a song, some Kenny Chesney. Look at it from that. I go, that makes sense.
Right.
Oh yeah, I could see why I would be pissed if I was him. And that's the thing with Crist, and I'm not speaking out of attorney, but and me and everybody's. You go think about it
from the other person's side,
and you go, oh yeah, that person just came to your show and they were just a fan of yours, and they're sitting with 5,000 people, not to brag, or however many people are at the show.
Less than that.
But I'm saying Crist shows. Okay. Yeah.
Chris is, a lot.
And then the guy from up there says, "What's up?"
Right.
And if you're a little bit insecure, or a little bit lacking in any type of way, and that you're gonna be like, "Yep, yes."
Yeah.
But that's not good for that person.
Right. Well, it's not. Yeah. It's kind of it used to be you would just have those kind of feelings, and everybody would go home, and people would have their imagination and their hopes.
Yeah, there was.
And then when you finally met someone that filled enough of the criteria and warmed your heart, you would attach all those moments of like, oh, I admire, I want this, that, I need connection. You would attach them all to that person, and you would hope that that you guys together make something good.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And then now it's like we get so many, the second we have an urge or someone else does, we have the ability to put the urge onto a blockchain almost through Instagram or social media.
Or on the dating site.
Or on dating sites,
hey, I gotta...
Oh, dude, I used to go to casual encounters, right? I don't know if I've ever even said this.
Was that a
this
telephone?
was a scary place. No, this was on Craigslist.
Oh my!
Here's the crazy thing is that I just said it was a place, like it's a.
I thought it was one of those casual, like a phone number. The ad comes on late at night. You go, I know what that is.
And see if, because one of my problems in my 20s, I would have a date set up, and then.
You good, bro?
Yeah. Just sin in my throat. Building up.
It's the Lord talking to you, bro.
The Lord, baby, is in my mucous membrane.
He's
dude.
Like, go ahead. Or the devil's trying to stop you from telling the story.
Oh, dude. I got post-nasal devil. You know, nothing goes with sex addiction and that sort of thing like a little bit of blue chew on you. You got to keep your wiener well. You see somebody they got a sick wiener, it's sad. Sometimes you'll see somebody holding their wiener and they don't know what's up, or you hear their wiener cough a little. That's bad. That's not great. What I'm telling you about is Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Just a little bit. It's an online prescription service, no visits to the doctor's office. No awkward conversations. Well, hey, you know, something's wrong with my leg or something near my leg. What do you say? The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. I get them. I get those Blue Chew hitters, Daddy. You know it. Blue Chew sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. That's right. There's a special deal for our listeners. You should try it. Get your wiener well. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code Theo at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping for them wiener uppers. Okay. That's Blue Chew. Promo code Theo to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Let's face it, when you're shopping for car insurance and home insurance, it can damn drive you nuts, make you pull your hair, make you pull your eyebrow out of your own ass. God! You know, you could spend days looking up 100 of providers, scrolling through 1,000 of policy options. This one, that one, this one, come on a scroll. Here's a pamphlet. It's too much. That's why when I needed my insurances, I knew where to went. Rawr, the Zebra can help you. The Zebra is the nation's leading insurance comparison site for car and home insurance. In other words, they do all the shopping. It's easy. You just get your insurances. The Zebra pairs people with the insurance company that's right for them. Yep, saving you an average of $922 per person on home and car insurance combined. Shop car insurance without shopping around. Make it easy. Get all your options in one place for free by visiting thezebra.com/Theo. That's thezebra.com/Theo. Support the podcast. Rawr! I remember, I get on Casual Encounters because there was the opportunity to have affection for women without any consequences.
Yeah.
And this lady, I remember, I met her at a cafeteria, which is a bad sign out the gate.
Like a school like a college cafeteria, or just like a cafe?
It had all.
It had a teria.
It had buffet.
Yeah. It had a salad bar.
It had buffet and bar. Yeah.
You would go back with a new plate.
Or you get a new plate if you want.
A new plate. All right. Yeah,
so it's upscale.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
But she and I met there. I didn't even know they sold tequila. She chose it, right? She was a few years older than me.
She said, "Meet me at the cafeteria."
Yeah. Bro. I meet her there. We have 2 tequila shots in this. Like it was getting close to kind of closing time, so I think they had kind of turned off some of the lights, kind of by the kitchen, but it was still pretty well lit.
Yeah. Oh my!
Then we went back to my apartment. She made sure every light was out in the entire apartment. She even took a little placard, like a piece of paper or something that could be a placard.
Yeah.
and she put it in front of like the PlayStation where the little light was.
Yeah.
Even blocked that.
Yeah.
No light, completely no light. And then,
but it didn't start like this. So she knew what you looked like prior.
She knew what I looked like prior, right?
It all
I don't know if she had like scars or she'd been in some fires.
Okay.
I don't know. And my hands, I can't tell really that good if somebody has fire skin. I think I just don't have good like feeling hands, you know?
It's like if you felt it, you would know, I think.
I don't know.
Maybe not. It's like a scar, isn't it? It's kind of like a scarish.
Yeah, it would have to be pretty bad, I think, for me to feel like if somebody been in a small fire, I don't think I would know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I don't know. I could have made love to someone that had been in a small fire and have no idea. That's what I'm saying, honestly.
I feel that. But you're not. Okay, well, continue with the story.
So anyway, we end up making love, dude, and
pitch black.
Okay,
yeah. What was she wearing at the cafeteria? Full long sleeves, long pants?
She was wearing, she looked like a little bit of a rock and roll woman.
Okay, yeah.
Like she had listened to rock and roll.
She'd been on the road a little bit. Yeah.
She definitely driven 200 miles to fuck some guy in a band. Like she looked.
But not the lead singer? Like
she wanted the lead singer.
Yeah.
But who knows if she got him? I don't know. She was also
200 miles in.
She was attractive.
Okay. All right. There you go.
But
you knew this before? Was there a photo exchange prior to meeting up?
Yeah, there was a photo exchange.
Okay. But that was like email?
Yeah, through email. So that's what's crazy, bro, is to think that in my mind, whatever sexual stuff had, you know, whatever things had built up in my head, my sexual like foundation, it put me in that place where that was how I was.
And you kind of didn't, it was a slow progression and then you kind of found yourself there.
Yeah.
Over a little like sacrifices not sacrifices, but like, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'll do it. And then you get there.
Right.
Yeah. And then you're there.
It's little things. It's you know what? I'll see what this is about. I've heard about this.
Let me just look it up a little bit. Let me look at casual encounters.
Next thing you know,
2
it's
weeks
a
later,
woman exchanging. And then finally you're like, okay, now I'm literally walking across, you know, Wilshire in Los Angeles to go and meet someone at a cafeteria.
No one does acts wrong. Nobody on planet Earth. I used to say, you know, the guy that this is a true story. I think so. It's not a conspiracy. A guy hijacked an airplane, flew it into the World Trade Center.
I can see it.
That's a true story. I've seen.
Oh yeah.
He believed he was right.
911.
He believed he was correct. Did he not?
Right. Yeah, in his mind, that was the thing to do.
In his mind, he thought, I don't know what his rationale was, that America needed to be taken out, democracy, freedom, liberty,
capitalism,
Islam needs to be whatever it was. And if that guy could convince himself that is right, anybody can convince himself of anything.
Right.
Anybody. And so maybe if you were like, for that, you were like, and I can relate a lot. It was like, I'm in a lot of pain. The consequences don't matter, or you're acting correctly to you.
Right.
In that you're like, you are. And everybody is. If you're going to get on the internet and trash Taylor Swift, say she's a slut or she's the word, like you are acting correctly to you.
Right.
That she has a lot of money, or she dumped her boyfriend, or her music isn't good, or she chose to be a public figure. You have to tell a story before you do that.
Right.
So, because if it was wrong, you wouldn't do it. Even if you murdered someone, you shot them, and now later you'd probably realize, oh goodness, that wasn't. But in the moment, you were correct.
Right, for you.
You thought that they deserved to die. Based on what they did, they cheated on your girlfriend, or you acted correctly in the moment. And that's everybody. And that's what's scary. And that's what rehab is like. Think about the 2,000 people that are in that World Trade Center that are at work, dude.
Right. Get the other side of the story.
Try. And then when you do that, if you go into Starbucks, 9:30 in the morning, you scream at the girl for not having your coffee order right. You have to get it out of your head that she is making minimum wage. She woke up at 4:30.
Yeah.
She's been dealing with these people for 4 hours. If you thought that your body, your mind will not allow you to scream at her. It won't.
Right.
Because, but when you're, and even if you don't relate to the other person, is if I'm in so much pain, I have to ease this pain somehow. I'm going to take it out on anybody. You're acting correctly in the moment, and that all rehab is trying to do is say,
right.
Think about the guy that has a family that is in the World Trade Center. And you go, and if rehab, if the process of change is correct, and maybe not instantly, but you go, oh, yeah. And that's the process of transformation. That's the whole thing.
Right.
That's
Getting
it.
a perspective switch.
That's it.
Getting a perspective.
But if you're in a lot of pain, I would do anything to that closing that hotel room door at night when I was on tour. It was like a prison cell, dude.
Really?
Being out on the stage and standing ovations, that was all fine. But that thing closes, it's you.
You're just sitting there, yeah.
You just sitting, and now you're nobody. You're a little hungry. You go down. Can I get a Snickers? They're like, well, what's your code? And you're like,
right.
You're helpless, dude. And you want to ease. I don't know why I got into like one of my.
No, it's
anyway, if you like to,
I think
accept the Lord, please raise your hand. Sorry, my bad, dude. I got too deep, dude.
No, well, I start to think, what is my story that led me to? Because I wonder if I go to some SAA or SLAA meetings, and that's sex addiction and sex and love addiction.
We've been to a couple of them.
Yeah, we've been to some, man, and it's not as big a program as other programs. But there's definitely a lot of it, like a lot of connection. Like, I think when I was young, my needs were all met.
But I
wasn't lacking for any. Like, I had we had food. We were very poor, but we had things. But my mother had to work a lot. But I think my mother never adored me as a child. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, and people were like, boo-hoo, right?
Sure.
And that's fine. I agree somewhat. Like, I don't want to dwell on it my entire life. But where I notice it affects me is when any opportunity for adoration presented itself. That's what I needed.
But that was before comedy, dude. This
is before comedy. This is from being very small.
Same thing. You're like, dude, you just got into this trouble. I go, nah, no, I've been in this my whole life, dude.
Yeah, my whole life I've needed extra. I've needed when attention from women became available, I needed. I remember my girlfriends growing up. I was such good friends with their mothers, and all my friends, I'm still good friends with their mothers. I just wanted.
That was all that would.
There was just something like. And I also was I was a real sensitive kid. So and it's not a knock against my mother. She did everything that she could do. It's just, I needed an adoration. I needed to be seen by a woman in the eyes and adored.
You didn't need to be seen by one. You needed to be seen. And that was the easiest way to get it.
Right.
Like there was a guy in rehab that he would, he was like, he's like one of the richest guys in his town.
Right.
And he was I don't know what he was in for, but he was the richest guy in his town. And we would, everybody's addiction kind of played out in its own way. So every weekend when we left, we had to say what we were doing every hour. Like, I'm gonna wake up at 9. I'm gonna go to breakfast because addicts get off track. And if you're gonna be at all these places, and you can do whatever you want, but you just had to tell them what you were doing. I mean, you couldn't go to like a bar or like a strip club and so this guy was the richest guy in his town. Just relating to your story, every Saturday he would go to the car lot, the dealership.
Oh yeah. And
he would go in there and he would get
Ford, Lincoln, Mercury.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah, Lincoln. And he would get pre-approved, and they all knew how much money he had, and he would walk around that place like.
Oh,
getting like, just like you're getting it or I'm getting it from the crowd, he got it by people knowing that he was rich.
Yeah.
And that's like you said, I needed it from women. You didn't. We all have this like.
I mean, I needed it from everybody. For comedy, I need it from everyone.
He needed, and that was his way of getting it. And he goes, "Well, dude, I'm not doing anything wrong." I go, "Well, why don't you tell him? Why don't you tell him that you're going to the car dealership. And he never bought a car, but he just walked around there and they knew how much money, and it felt like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was to another guy. You're like, yeah, I go, that's not my thing, but
Totally makes sense.
you need to go feel the thing that checks out.
Yeah, and wanting attention from women, it's also, the tough thing about it is it's also something that's just in your nature.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like a foreign thing, you know. It's like this substance and I'm not describing women as a substance, but it's the other half of what it takes in the world to make life, you know. It's this magnet. So that's also
well, they say it's similar. Sorry, finish your thought.
I can't.
Well, they say it's similar to an eating disorder where you have to eat, but you know, if you've been working all day and you stop by McDonald's and get a salad, you're like, is that in your addiction? No. But if you're sad because your boyfriend broke up with you and you eat 3 double cheeseburgers, now you're eating, that's your addiction. So sex, you can't be a monk and live in the woods. Right. You have to be amongst women. You have to. And so if a girl comes up to you after the show and says, "Hey, I love your, that felt really good." Like, does that like do it for you?
Well, I just notice if I'm just I get attracted to women pretty easily, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I don't really know what it is for me, because I'm not like chasing sex and trying to have sex every night. Some of my friends were like that.
Yeah, I was never like that either.
I wasn't like that either. Yeah. I think for me, it was just more like, I want you to like me.
Yep.
Period. And then if you're a female and I'm attracted to you, then heck, I'd also like you to like me more, probably.
Yeah. And if you're more, well, you're very, I don't want to speak out of tune here, but knowing you personally, that you're very like after a something happens, you're very like, did they like me? How did that go? You kind of review it a lot. Like I was with the race. What do you want to say? Well, you texted me after the race.
Yeah, I went to the race and I didn't really say hey to your family. I remember they were there.
But you went into your head somehow and thought,
and I texted you, hey, I'm sorry I didn't say hey to your family.
Which is, but you did the same thing. Remember when I said about the Ryman show? You were,
oh yeah,
you go, but you can't be a comedian without that,
right?
But like I go, nah, dude, they loved you and they know your friend. There's a lot of people there, and you said hi to them, and but you were like, did they like me?
Right. I guess in the end, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Do they still like me? Am I still okay with them?
And maybe for whatever reason, you didn't get a clue that they did.
Right.
And so you're just following up to make sure.
Yeah.
Whatever that is right there. Yeah. That's what definitely leads your whole everything.
Right. That leads to.
Right.
And so that can be also what people go to sex and love addiction for. Yeah. It's like, it can be for affection. It's not just like somebody like sneaking around, like putting their hole through like a bathroom wall.
It's not
which happened at LSU when I was there and I wasn't involved in it. Okay. And I do know who was involved in it. This dude, Big Henry. And this little white dude, bro, with not a mustache, but like
some kind of
long sideburns that almost came to a mustache, real stupid looking thing. But
you heard about it?
I mean, I knew they were doing stuff, bro. They was being real discreet. You can't be going to class in the bathroom every day. So it's hot in here too, guys. The AC broke. Let's get another question that came in here. Look at this guy in bed triggering,
dude, huh? That's shirtless, bro.
Jesus.
Is there another person there or no?
Oh my God, I'm going to have to take my penis off and put it somewhere.
Oh my God.
The kid.
Maggie, Michaela. We were wondering, our church got VBS this week. Y'all got any good VBS stories? I know y'all both grew up going to that VBS, Vacation Bible School.
Oh, I did go to that.
Gang.
Gang, baby.
That's unbelievable. Because I was wondering what percent of my fans are your fans and your fans are my fans? Would you think a lot?
I would say only probably 15%
of your fans are my fans,
and vice versa.
Yeah,
I think we have different fans,
right? Yeah. But do you talk about VBS?
I haven't talked about it much, man. My dad,
But you know what that stands for?
Vacation Bible School.
Yeah.
My dad would take us over there, and we'd make a lot of arts and crafts.
Yeah.
It was arts and crafts every dude. The Lord is in the glue, dog.
Oh man, but that was just the kid. There
were chicks there though too.
100%. But they didn't. Your family didn't know what to do with you during the summer.
No.
And they send you. They didn't
anything. Yarn camp, anything, dude.
Horse camp, explorer camp, Boy
Breathing,
Scouts,
treasure hunter.
Nothing doesn't matter.
Yeah,
take these kids.
Reformed pedophile meetings.
Something.
Yeah, anything.
Get up. Yeah.
Like,
I wonder how. Like if you like
botany.
So this guy looks like a
decent man,
like a good Baptist guy. Mm-hmm. If he's probably from the South, so then you get a step away.
I could see him being at least a Pentecostal or one of those new churches.
You get a step. So the Pentecostal, he's like a step, and you keep stepping away. Yeah. Then you get Jehovah's Witnesses. Then you get into then it's the snake.
Then you're wearing an Iverson jersey. After
then there's snake hand. Then you go. So I wonder how far away from traditional Christianity were your parents that desperate to send you to camp that they would have said, "Hey, snake handling church. You can't take the kids, dude." It might not have been Christian as much as it was like, take these kids. I know, I'm dead serious, dude.
Yeah, dude. Oh, like, definitely.
Hey, what are you teaching them?
Yeah. Who knows,
it's
man?
free? Yeah. You're taking these kids for free. I don't care what you're teaching them, bro. Because some of those southern churches,
it gets dicey, dude.
It gets quick, very quickly.
It gets real interesting, man.
And you're like, hey, get on. Yeah, VBS growing up was... I used to work at them in college.
Did you?
Yeah.
In college?
I went to one in New Orleans. I worked in the inner city, New Orleans, teaching at VBS.
Really?
And in New York City, I did one. And dude, there was no rules out there. Because it's tricky because somebody else is, when you work at a church and you're like a missionary, somebody else is, when your boss is paying you but is not there, it's the weird. Human being was not set up for that. You're like, I'm gonna work in Nicaragua, but my boss is in Louisiana. You want to set the alarm? No, I don't. No, I'm not setting the alarm tomorrow.
Dude, that's funny. My dad's family was in Nicaragua doing missionary work when his parents.
All right, and where was the money coming from?
I don't know. And there probably wasn't much money back then. I think it was 1910. Now, here's a weird thing I did in relationships. I painted a chair at Vacation Bible School camp and gave it to a girl like 17 years later as an adult. And
you did?
Yeah, dude, look. If you want to end a relationship and end up on at least a list in a woman's head.
Some kind of list.
Give her a chair you painted as a child 16 years earlier as an adult. Also drive it 5 hours to her, dude.
But in your mind, you were acting right. This guy, Randy, when I was in Vacation Bible School, he said Randy. he was from the other church. Mm-hmm. He would come over. He was like he had a red sports car. And he was, when you at that age, the guy's in his 30s, late 30s, 40s, and he's single, he's cool. But now you're like, why didn't this guy?
Now he's us.
Where was his family?
Right.
Wait, looking back on it, when your youth pastor is 25 and hanging with us on Friday nights, where are who's your squad?
Right.
Is it us? And so this guy Randy would come, and he was a bigger guy. He would always
Big Randy, bro.
He would wear shirts in the pool to swim.
Oh, he would?
He would wear shirts.
Yeah.
But not like darker, like
black guy?
White guy, but black shirt.
Oh,
meaning
wow.
you could see through if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, so stolen valor.
So he would do he went off the high dive, and that was this is a real story, dude.
Fake plant, but I'm sure it'll take.
Dang,
boy.
But so when he
loved doing that kind of trick.
But he would always he wouldn't come out every day. But when Randy started walking up, all the kids knew it's about to.
Here go Randy,
and he would do a huge.
Come on, Randy!
So everybody went, and he was like kind of a rogue. He wasn't attached to a church. Like these are from First Baptist. These are from First Pres. Randy we
was at Sixth Baptist, I think.
Anyway, so he said he promised if every kid memorized Psalm 23, he would shave his head at the end because he was a
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
and he goes, I will shave my head.
He was an organ donor.
Yeah, 100%. This kid, I think his name was Nathan and James.
Oh yeah,
two of my buddies. If they could quote Psalm 23, he would shave his head.
Let's go.
And this kid got up there, nailed it, and he
and
got
Randy
in front of church and it was an outdoor. It was like in a pavilion type situation.
Oh yeah, a lot of pavilions.
Yeah, a lot of pavilions. That they were covered, but not at the sides. Yeah, I remember That's a funny. Like this must have been before this lady was working. Me and my brother, my older brother. I asked because I was going to put this in my act, but I never talked about it on stage. I texted my brother like a year ago and asked him if this is true. We went forward for prayer. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, you go to the front of the church.
If you're
children,
yeah, if you're convicted about being a sinner, which we were good kids,
right?
You know, so they were like, are you positive that you whatever? We went forward. Me and my brother were getting prayed for, but this woman was attractive. This was an attractive woman.
Oh yeah, touch me.
Yeah, she was praying for us.
I mean, pray. Yeah, touch me on the shoulder.
She was praying for us. Me. And I remember, I will never forget this. And this is before I knew what the word meant.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes, just bless these boys, be with, like they starts general. The prayer starts general.
Yeah.
Walk with them, teach them your ways. May they do your will. Keep them out of trouble, these type of things. And then as you go on, you kind of get more confident you're hearing from the Lord. And you start kind of guessing. And she said, I will never forget this. She said, I just pray that I just asked that, Lord, that you would break the spirit of masturbation in their lives. And we didn't know what it was.
No.
We did not know what it was. We didn't know, dude. I had to have been 12, maybe.
Wow.
11 or 12. I was homeschooled. I didn't know.
Masturbation. It sounds like a place almost if you don't know anything about it.
And it's a spirit?
Oh, the spirit of masturbation.
Like it's like.
Sounds like a ghost.
Like we asked our mom on the way home.
No.
We asked her. I go, what it, she goes, where'd you, at youth camp, she's thinking.
Right, kids.
One of the kids, yeah, you were on during archery or the canoes and the kid that came up.
Yeah.
No, it was during prayer, dude. But think about it from her perspective. If you're these two, my brother was older than me, so if I was 12, he was 14. That's probably odds wise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
She just guessed wrong.
Yeah.
She just guessed wrong, dude. Dude, I remember biking over to my friend's house like 5 miles because they had porno over there, and I'd go over there and look at it. Dude, I'd go and use his bathroom for like 2 hours, dude, on a Sunday. Just in there, just absorbing porno, dude. Just like, I remember even I would lay down and just put the magazine on my skin and just absorb the porno.
That's what you at the time.
But that's what I needed, man. And then somebody had chiseled a set of tits in like a tree outside back of our apartment building, and people would be out
like
there
on the bar
jerking off to
No
it.
way.
Yeah, I swear to God, man. And it was good looking, man. I mean, it was for outdoors.
It was an artist. He could have sold that if it wasn't on the tree.
I mean, it got like these larvas in it or whatever, but
Messed up. Yeah, they messed up the thighs. They got the larva.
It
She
had
used to be hotter when she was in her
it
prime.
had some varicose.
When she was in her prime. Yeah.
It was varicose breasts after a while, after a couple of years. But the first year and a half, first 18, 19 months, that stuff was out there. You'd see people out there, man.
Well, you did.
It was our Mount Rushmore, dude.
What city?
Huh?
What city?
Covington, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Up on McGee Street. Praise God.
I bet that's still there.
And we used to do Peepin' Tomin' too, and that was big when I was young.
Again, that was just like, you got to differentiate curiosity versus
right.
Because same, or like you just like look to see, but that you weren't.
Dude, I remember my buddy and I, one of my closest friends, would sat there naked one time under a blanket.
Okay, not same. Yeah. He might be on this one, but yeah.
And we're just like touching each other's shoulders and stuff, and it was hella gay, bro. We didn't know at the time.
You didn't know. Yeah,
we wasn't being gay. We was being children.
That's the difference. Yeah, because that they always say when there's a difference of an imbalance of power.
Yeah.
That's when it get like someone that's your boss, someone that's a parent, someone that's age, someone that like.
Yeah, this was even Steven.
Yeah. So then, yeah. Which is also tricky because once you come into power or you come into influence or you come into something,
right? Then you automatically granted that without even you realizing it. That's
maybe
interesting.
it just should come with like, hey, it also comes with this. So just be like, you don't know when the transition happens. You're like, oh, now I remember Jay Moore talking about,
right. You're like, now do women like me? Just like, it has nothing to do with me now. Now it's different. There should be some sort of a little, they should send you a mailer or something that says, hey, Bubba,
now you're different.
Now, like, you just need to take this into context.
Like if the Chili's server hooks up with the other Chili's server, there's no problem. Fine. That's a Saturday.
That's 2 for 1.
That's plus dessert.
Yeah.
But when the manager or the boss hooks up with the waitress,
which happens all the time,
or maybe that's not a good example, but like, then you can't. That's an imbalance. That can't do that because she's. If you say, hey, do you want to come over? You're her boss.
Right. Well, the weird thing though is in your head, for some people, the power never really changes. You're just excited to finally have a way to meet women, or you like women and you're excited about getting to see them or be naked around them. And now it's like, fuck. Now you can't do that.
Yeah. It's like, again, when you're the waitress and the waitress, that's fine. But that now all of a sudden I see he's
right. Now what about these text messages that we sent each other?
Yeah, we're like, well,
and that's scary to anybody, dude. If a girl came out like, dude, there's escorts out there that I've texted some real, probably some poignant information to,
yeah,
and not no nudie pics. I don't send nudies.
Yeah.
But
stuff,
but things like if I would be ashamed,
100%.
I might be a little proud of myself, but also
depends.
Because the spelling was
depends
correct.
on the screenshot. Yeah.
But there's definitely like some combos that'd be like, man,
that was not
just
the move.
Embarrassment.
Yeah. That's
what I would feel like.
Not that, but.
And the world doesn't care. The world is more about like, well, let's see the embarrassment more than about what is the content, what's going on with this person,
Yeah. They remember that when at the race we went. So I've made jokes about like the Mayor Cooper.
Yeah.
I've said like at my comedy shows, the mayor's corrupt, or like because he's raising taxes or whatever it is. I made jokes about him. I go, dude, we have some great comedians in this country. Nashville's got some amazing comedians: Nate Bargatze, Theo Vaughn, Mayor Cooper. But then at the race, he came out and did like the
that opening thing,
and they booed him.
I heard that.
And I immediately like rehab. If it does anything, it'll move you towards empathy.
Yeah,
and I go. Oh, I don't like this. This is a man. I saw him. I didn't make eye contact, but I go. This is a guy that now he might be corrupt, or but he's trying to serve. I don't know, but I go. We can't. This is not the way.
Right.
And I felt empathy. I go. I wanted to DM him and be like, hey, dude. It makes me cry to think about I was
there. Sorry how that probably felt. I could understand how that felt.
And I go, I've made fun of you on my show. I just want to let you know that I've been through my own stuff and you didn't deserve that.
Right. That crowd is probably a lot of conservatives in the crowd, I would guess.
Yeah. Maybe he shouldn't have taken that gig, right?
He was probably doing it to try and grab some face with conservatives.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
To get back in with the city. But he canceled.
Politicians are strategic.
And he canceled races at that track for all during COVID.
Oh. Well,
and so maybe,
So then
and they knew that.
They all knew it.
It was not the move. No. But I remember I went to the Hawks game, the Hawks Sixers game, about a month ago in Atlanta, and Ben Simmons plays for the Sixers.
Yeah,
kid is a phenom.
I remember he played at LSU, dude.
An all-star, right? This kid was a $1 million contract, and in the playoffs, kind of fell
instead
apart.
Of dunking past it,
and he was very timid. He's very
right.
And I remember being there. Crushing him, dude. And then somebody was like, I read on ESPN or somebody like 22 years old, and I go, I feel some kind of way about this now. Now this kid's in his hotel room with a phone.
Right, but that's where it gets weird is when it's tough. That's the tough thing about being a comedian and doing because you're like, it's tough to be empathetic, but also want to be able to just rip on stuff and be funny and be a sports fan and be
Bill Burr said that, remember Burt Kreischer asked him if he ever wanted to meet the president. He said no. He goes, I never want to meet him because if I meet him, then I can't crush him because I empathize. I know Donald Trump. He's a buddy of mine. I can't.
Right.
But that's not the right way to live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tricky, dude. It's tricky.
It's true. Look, I think that's one of the battles of everything. But also, it's like we've also created an environment now where there's constant information about everything. So there's so much stuff to be empathetic for that you almost get exhausted.
That you can't be like the refugees. You're like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've felt even
capacity.
on this past weekend on some of the solo episodes, we'll talk a lot about like, try and listen to things that are going on with people. And I love it, and I love because a lot of people I'll call privately and just chat and stuff. And it's important to me. And you can tell sometimes that it's feels good to them to connect with somebody. But
you can't take on everybody.
Sometimes having to, it's like, you feel like you can't do everything. Nobody can. And sometimes we want to. And sometimes like I notice I'll text people and ask how they're doing sometimes.
You've done that to me.
And the truth is I do that. I feel like, cause I mean, one, I care. I want to know, want them to know somebody cares, but also I wish people did that to me. Probably.
Yes.
We all do those things, And
I remember I was in my deepest shame when I was in the real darkness. We had a green room that overlooked the parking lot.
Of what?
Of the show. And it was like...
Is it by a Hampton Inn?
It was... it depends on the night.
Was it in Baton Rouge?
No, it was in the South, though. Maybe at Jackson or some city like that.
Okay.
And I remember our green room had a window looked out over the... And it was an hour before the show. And that line was hundreds of yards. And these people were so... excited. Oh, this is their Super Bowl, dude. And I was like, and I was in a dark place I couldn't watch it. I go, you got to take me out of here. I can't. I never experienced that before.
Wow,
but I'm a comedian. All I want to do is that.
Right.
To go like, this is my guy, dude. This guy makes me laugh. We drove 4 hours.
Yeah.
We got the tickets. Here's the tickets. They're the truck. It's gonna.
We're ready.
And I couldn't, my shame wouldn't allow me to.
Why? Like, what is it you think? Like, you're ashamed, like what?
Well, I think it was like these, if I felt worthless. So when people drove 4 hours and say, we love you, that was hard for me to, because it used to be just a big crowd. Now I saw a guy and his wife and their friend, and I go, it made it. I go, I can't look at this, dude. This is, or like, dude, the lines wrapped around the. I go, I can't
it's hard
look
for
at
me
that.
to mean. It's hard for me to feel like it's hard for me to see that I mean something to someone
when you don't. When you're working on meaning something to yourself,
or when I felt like I felt for a long time that I didn't mean anything to anyone.
Yes, and when
for me, that's a lot of it.
And when someone watches this podcast, connects with you, and says, "Hey, the closest Theo is coming to me is 8 hours. I'm gonna drive to see him." Would that DM make you nervous?
Oh, it just makes me feel like, it almost makes me feel sad a little bit. Not for them, but it just makes me feel not sad. It makes me feel like I'm never gonna be able to do something to repay them.
That they've saved your life, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, or just like, man, they're doing this. Like, man, I'm not worth that.
You want to say, hey, well, next tour,
I'll come closer.
Do it. Yeah.
Right.
Don't go
out of your way for me.
But they.
Right, but to them, it's a different, right? It's their world, and you have to let them have their joy and stuff like that. And that thing inside of me, don't go out of your way for me. It's like,
all you ever wanted was for someone to go out of their way
for me.
God, that makes me emotional, dude. Like,
and look, man, I'm not saying any of this stuff. Like, I'm not like, I'm not in some Debbie Downer thing or anything like that.
No.
Like,
but everybody, if a comedian or not, everybody could relate to that.
But it's like, I think I'll always just.
Somebody said, "Hey, Theo, of all these comics, of all the shows, we're choosing you."
Right.
And even if it's a a monetary exchange.
Yeah.
You're giving them a thing. But
right. It's like, man, it's just, it feels
you
like
want to tell them that you're not worth that. But they have decided you are. Like if I went to
right, and then it makes me almost jealous that I wish I could decide that I'm worth that.
Yeah, you're like, which is
You
when
know?
I got out of rehab, everybody said, "Dude, we love you." I go, "What?" If you went to prison tomorrow, I remember when I was in rehab, there's a month or there's 3 weeks where there's a blackout period. You can't talk to anybody, right?
Yeah.
Nobody. And I got after
Really? Wow.
3 weeks, and I thought my life. That was when I was as close to wanting to end my life, because but after 3 weeks there's a whiteboard, and when you have a letter or a note, they write your name and your last initial. So it's 3 weeks, I heard nothing, and all of a sudden I walk in, John C.
Ooh.
And granted, think about, I was in Wickenburg, Arizona with a bunch of dudes and your buddy. Yeah. And I knew nothing of just trying to, they tell you when to go to the bathroom, when to eat, when to sleep. And it said John C. And I went up there. And they have it was a little like, when back in the day when like you called the office and the boss is gone, but they write a little Samantha called from accounting.
Right.
Give you the little away, whatever that was. And they hand me this message. And I looked at it. I was right in the atrium there. This is like one of those like moments you remember forever. And it said, your parents are coming to see you. Your parents are coming.
You didn't know they were coming?
No, I didn't know they were coming, but I thought I ruined it. Why would I embarrassed the family name? My dad's a pastor. My mom works at the Christian school. My dad's in politics. John Crist is on Fox News, CNN, USA Today. What do you mean?
And they cared.
And it was like for a week. They came for a week.
Oh.
So like, and that's all I ever wanted my whole life is my parents to say that like and I was like, and I wanted to tell them I'm not to come. Tell them I'll be done and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I was so shocked by that they wanted to do that.
I think.
But this is your parents.
Right.
Why would they,
Why would they not?
Where did you get that idea? Where did you get that idea that people wouldn't?
It just happened.
I don't know.
I don't know where that thing comes from.
Where did you ever get that idea that your parents, when you were in the most amount of need, this is their child that is struggling? Why would you think that they wouldn't come to see you? I don't
know.
That's what the whole process was.
That's how it landed on us.
Yes. And every day, dude, every day, I don't want to make a bigger deal about this as it is, but like, as you're in rehab, a guy would get a piece of mail once every 3 weeks. Maybe someone would get a piece of mail from a wife or from a child or something. Every day, stacks of mail. And I didn't know these people.
Really?
They either through my management company or through my family or a friend of a friend, people were like, wow. Just stacks of mail, dude. And all these people didn't really know me that well. I mean, my family did, but it was people like, hey, my daughter is the GM of the club that you worked at in Denver, and she likes y'all, and I have the same story, and I need to tell you to that it's okay. I'm compelled to get this message to you.
Wow.
They were so moved, but it was all people that have been to the dark,
right?
That have looked the devil in the eye. It was all of those people, and for me to refuse, to not let them love you is
right. It's almost the same, right?
God, and that's almost, yeah. When somebody says, "Hey, Theo, comedian or not, you're my guy, dude. You need something," it's like that can't be. And now we're always thinking someone wants to take something from us. Someone wants to.
Yeah, I think comedian or not, that thing, whatever that is, that's really.
And you go, it can't.
That hits me. It's like, what do you mean? Like, if I'm not something extremely special,
you can't just.
You'll never see me. That's what I always felt like.
Never.
Like, unless I stand out, like as much as possible,
and go over.
Right. Then I'll never be seen.
And what happens if you're never seen? That's a death sentence.
Yeah.
For a guy like me, death sentence.
Oh, I think it's a death sentence for any human.
Yeah. And what's scary is when everything happened to me, like people were saying the most horrific things about me on the internet.
And by everything happened, it was stuff like things came up that you admitted some lewd information with people.
Yeah, that I was like sexting girls.
It wasn't anything.
No, it wasn't anything
traumatic.
And nothing non-consensual, nothing. It was just a guy being
But also when you attach it with Christianity.
I was working in church.
When you were working in churches and stuff like that, everything has a different taboo
which
to it.
is fair.
Right.
And I've
That's
said,
a good point.
I've said,
it's interesting.
If you work at a company and they say you can only wear jeans on Friday and you wear jeans on Thursday and you get fired, you knew the rules of the company. Either that might be a BS rule, but I knew when I'm working in churches that you can't get hammered and bring girls to your hotel room.
Right.
And I did that.
Right.
And so and you get fired, fair. No moral, is this a good guy or a bad guy? Those are the rules, spoken or unspoken. I took the job.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
If it had just been comedy clubs and stuff, it would be different. But when you have churches and stuff, it's different.
Sure. Which is like the worst. I'd read all these comments of people saying these most horrific things.
That's the hardest.
Yeah, it's horrible. But my buddies joke about this. My buddies in the group text. He goes, you know what comment hurt the worst? It's kind of funny, but it's kind of like some guy goes, "Who's John Crist?"
Oh. Man.
Which you get that.
Totally.
You're like, it's all, but people are talking about me. If Donald Trump is on the front of the New York Times, he wins. He wins. No matter what it's saying. Nobel Peace Prize or got caught with a hooker.
Yeah.
If he's on the front, people are talking about him as a narcissist, you win. And somebody goes, who is this? It crushed me, dude. You're like, that's tough, dude. That's tough.
Yeah, I think when I was growing up, there was such little. I had a sister that was real sick. She had a liver disease when she was born, so she needed a liver transplant. And so she got any affection my mother had, she got. And she got to be around nurses, like people that were real caring.
Yeah. A lot of attention.
A lot of attention, yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of us just didn't get it. We just didn't get it. And also, here's one thing I want to say about that kind of stuff is like, I could have gotten it, but I didn't feel like I got it. So that's another thing.
Like, if you ever want my parents, this and that, like they might have.
If you ever want to talk to your parents about stuff, one way to do it is you can say,
that's a great point.
I didn't feel, this is how it felt to me. So that way it's like, you're not attacking them. Like,
and they're not the enemy.
Like,
you're like, hey, like my pastor who would ask me if I masturbated, like, I would like to talk to him now, be like, hey, this seemed like a little shame-based, but also that guy was trying to help.
Yeah, he was trying to help.
It wasn't, but your parent, like, my dad was like, oh, he was gone a lot at conferences. You're like, yeah, but I had 8 kids. I needed to get the money to.
Right.
It kind of wasn't, you didn't get the love the way you wanted it.
Right.
You wanted your dad to play catch with you.
Right. But you wanted a certain type of serving, and they didn't have that.
That's it. You wanted some Thousand Island. All we got is ranch at this house.
And the crazy thing, they didn't have it also because nobody ever gave it to them. Yeah. That's where you also are, like a lot of us are suffering the genetic, the third generation of something that happened generations ago.
My buddy Isaac, when I was homeschooled first to 8th grade, then I went to private school.
Dang.
And I was always hanging with him, and he would every time his parents, they would leave him out. Hey, you're going to the movies, leave the car, off the phone, they would go, we love you. Isaac, I love you. And no one ever said that to me in my house. No one ever said, John, I love you. No, it just wasn't. Did my parents love me? My mom said when I was in rehab, she said she would give her life for me. Wow. She said that to me. And I believe that.
Right.
And she would. But does that make sense? I go, well, how come? And you get a little bit of a scar maybe because you're like, what?
Why didn't you tell me that?
Yeah, but their parents never. Know what I'm saying?
They don't know. Yeah,
no,
they don't know. But so here's the thing. Then, if you have children, you could tell. Get specific with them sometimes about how you feel. If you think that they may not know. And because I think in my house, I think my mom always just assumed we knew also.
That, of course, we love you, Theo.
Right. Of course, I love you. Of course, we're a family unit. We never knew any of those things. We felt like we were.
You were on your scavenging out on your by yourself.
Yeah.
To get and
so then, yeah.
But you got to get, if you didn't get that.
And I felt like I needed to get everybody in the world to love me so I could get my mom to love me.
By default, look at all these people that are at my shows.
Right.
Shirley. And then what's very odd, which is like our relationship is like you burn your life to the ground and that's when your parents show up. But they, to be fair, they came to every comedy show they could within 6 hours. They would come to, they, you know what I'm saying? But that's what meant the most is when they came.
John C.
Oh man, dude. That should be my new name, dude.
Yeah, shit, man.
C, dude. Yeah.
It's interesting once you're in kind of some of the recovery world. It's interesting to have somebody else to talk to about this kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I just want to say I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you being willing to just even when you and I are out of here, or wherever, wherever we are, you know. I feel like we're always willing to kind of talk about some of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've been in. To be fair, we've been in the light and the darkness together. We've been in meetings together.
Oh yeah,
and then we also been.
Oh yeah.
Trying to holler at girls.
I was trying to buy drugs that one night at that freaking bar. Remember?
Yes.
Jesus Christ! Thank God.
Thank
God they didn't have it.
It didn't. Yeah.
Thank God they didn't have it.
But you're like, I don't know.
One lady got her glasses stuck in her nose ring. That lady was out of her mind.
But you don't have any kind of like when it's past the point of like, I'm not here to get anything from you, and you're not here to get anything from me, because we both, whatever I have, you have, and whatever you have, I already have. So if you said, "Hey," and I'd say probably in the past year that we both kind of come and gone from the darkness to the light. You know, there are periods where I struggle.
Oh yeah,
heavily,
get a little bit shadowy.
Yeah, and you go, yeah.
But
you
all
get
you're doing, but you're not doing anything bad.
No.
You're just challenging your own kind of newer set of boundaries.
And you just like, hey, do you want to go to a meeting?
I know when I say no, and then I start, I start isolating or doing.
Yeah, you just want to kind of not be in the light. But every time we go to a meeting, it's like. That's whatever that is. That's right. Christ, man. I know you Christ, you make a joke out of it, but it's not.
But it is,
Christ,
man. Seeing people connect, seeing people touch. That's
remember
God.
That guy at that meeting, that last one, he was crying. He was sitting right next to us. Grown man,
he was so happy because his wife was better.
Grown man had gotten a divorce, bawling, dude. And he went. How many people were at that meeting? 50. There's a lot 70. Of people there, and he started talking about. I don't know what he was talking about, and he fell apart, man.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder how many people are walking out in this everywhere tonight, just this close to coming undone, dude, you know?
Well, especially in today's world, we want to get anything that feels human. Yeah. It resonates with you in a chord that's that's a connection that's of a higher power.
When that adult man broke down and started crying because the wife that had left him was she doing, her health was doing better or something like that?
Yeah, she was.
I don't want to compromise anybody.
I think he's a couple years sober.
Yeah, and he goes, I'm so proud of, and I'm just so grateful that she's healthy, and that's too much. I mean, it's not too much, but it's yeah. And but you can serve him by being there and listening.
It hits that heart, dog.
And say get all the way in. That goes all the way in, bro.
It plays that heart. John, Chris, if you guys haven't seen a lot of John's videos, they're so dude. I am so envious, dude. You, Kyle Dunnigan, there's a couple guys, and I'm just so envious.
Yeah. I love Kyle.
That makes such creative and entertaining stuff, and. Go check it out. You have a new tour that's going on too this fall.
Man. Yeah, fall tour. Every theater you're coming to, I'm probably going to the week before, the week after.
Cool, man. And some even bigger ones. I know you're going to be down in Baton Rouge too. Yeah. So I think I might try to go down and do that. Go down with my family.
Remember that one time you came on my show? Yeah, you did. It was my show.
Oh, at the Zany's. Yeah. And I think that's too edgy.
I didn't either. I go, did you tell him that it was like a church crowd? I go. No, he's a comedian, dude. I mean, he said that joke about the guy about by the fence.
Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't have told that one.
But I say the same thing, dude. Go see Theo's show, man. You'll love it, dude.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. Love you, bro. Thanks for coming on. And yeah, we'll have to hit a meeting soon.
Same to you, brother.
Gang.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take a little time for me to set that parking brake and let myself unwind. Shine.